What's going on, everybody, and welcome back for a new video. So I made this video here around 5 months ago, and you guys said that you want me to do it all over again and kind of explain it a little bit more. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Today we're gonna go ahead and build our own cannon. This right here is just something I quickly built just to show you just a little bit what you can do with different stuff. So right here we have torches activating the hammer down. We are using this system right here, meaning that if you put like this right here and then put like that, that will actually work, meaning that this will actually ignite that. So we're using that to go into a torch, which is going like that, because you can do that, and that will get out the redstone into the cannon. And just in general, just talk a little bit more about redstoning, and hopefully you guys will understand more of it this time. This right here is a small one push cannon. This right here is a 20 stacker. Doesn't really look like much, but yeah. So what I did here was using a one push, and I did a one push because there was not really much space here to doing like a two wide. If you do a two wide, you are gonna need to have like poles going in with comparators and get this out of the end of the cobweb and stuff like that. So it was a little bit hard. But I fixed that with a one push, meaning that you only have to push this once, meaning you're just gonna need repeaters like this going into something, and then that will work out perfectly. But let's go ahead and talk about cannoning in general. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna build my own cannon some random places right over here, and then let's take it from there. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, the barrel. And if you're doing this on a faction show, make sure that you have space on your claim to make a test wall. We don't really have to worry about that right here, but yeah. So the first thing I want to do is making your barrel. As you see, this is one wide, and I want to do that 5 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then of course we're going to put this up like that. So we have like a barrel now. So this is 5 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that we've done that, we can go ahead and we can extend it one more so it looks like a barrel. Maybe 2 more. There we go. So now that you've done that and you have your barrel, you have to figure out how much you want this cannon to stack. So I'm just gonna pick something random. We want this to stack 100%. And if you want to stack 100%, there's multiple ways you can do it. But the first thing I always do when building a cannon, when after I made the barrel, is simply just doing this. So I'm gonna do this far. So it's probably not gonna be this far, but I'd like to have stuff to work with. So now that you've done that, you know that the hammer is going to slide right here. So we're gonna need a booster. The first thing you want to do when making a booster is to make sure how many times. Like I wanted a 2x booster because that reaches over 12. A 2x booster reaches over 18. A 1x booster reaches 6. So I want a 2x booster because I want to kind of have a long hammer down. So the first thing you can do is do something like that. That should work out. Or you can even do it one more up if you really need to, like that. But you only need to do that if you want to be a kind of if you want to think about TNT. So boosters in general is hard to figure out if you're not really understanding cannon. I have a video on that. Go ahead and search up Dexter 113 boosters, I'm pretty sure, and you'll find that video. I have talk about boosters a lot and stuff like that. But for now, let's keep it as it is right here. So after this, I want to make sure that I'll be able to wire this up. So I'm going to do that, or you can even do that. That way we can get the redstone from here, and then it will take both of them. If you did it like this, we will have to have an extra block, and we don't really need that, so put that right there. Now we've done that, I kind of want this to be blocked in, because I don't want any water to flow out, so it's going to be like that. Then of course there's going to be a 1 block distance between your hammer, which is going right here, and to your of course booster. So now that you have this right here and you made sure that that is how it is, you can go ahead and you can close that in like that. You can close it in all the way up here. Right here we could take glass so we can see what's going on. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So now that we have our little room right here, we know that this booster here will work. Now we can start thinking about the hammer. So there's multiple ways you can do this hammer. Right here, you see this right here is kind of where the guider goes. The guider will probably go right here. That means that the piston will go right here. Don't worry, this is not part of it. I just want to quickly explain it. So this was where this hammer goes in. Then we have the what is called. Maybe we have the slab bus right there. We have the sand right there. And then we have our power here. So that will be the guider right here. Now, if you accidentally clip or you are forced to raise this, it is a good thing to have a line of copper right here and then the hammer on top, like, oops. Let me just make this like this, because if you didn't have this, let me just quickly do this. There you go. Because if you didn't have this, and you were simply having this one down, like this, then if you're gonna say, oh shit, I need to raise my barrel by 1 block, so I want to move this up here, then you'll have to see, oh shit, then I have to remove some of the hammer because there's not space for it, you know. So when you do your hammer, it might be 1 block higher, but this will give you some kind of comfort. If you have to raise your barrel, you can easily do that by simply taking out the copper. And you see here, this will now be this right here will now be our roof of the cannon, and the guider will be able to raise one up. So that is what I like to do. This is especially very important if you are on folders and your cannon is dipping. You can either add power or you can simply just raise your barrel by 1 and make it there. But I'm saying you should always add power. Don't try to do this. But if you really need to, you can do that. So I always wanted to have like this. So then that way you're kind of sure that you will be able to raise your barrel and such. Now when that is set, let's go ahead and say I want this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. I want this to be 10. And our booster should be able to handle 10. So if I want it to be 10, right here, we can go ahead and we can finish this off right here. We can take this all the way actually, because right here we're not gonna have anything all the way up to this one right there. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We also are gonna talk about scatters here in a moment here, but before we do that, we need to go into how much hammer you're gonna need for your cannon to work out properly. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that, of one of the ways to do that. So give me like a second. One of the ways you can calculate how much hammer you're gonna need is going on to mcready.net. Right here we have cannons and all that. We're not gonna think about that. We're gonna go into this what says TNT calculations right there. Now in here you do how to calculate hammer and how to calculate power. We're gonna need how much hammer we are gonna need. So we're gonna say 60 is the amount of sand, as it says right there, and we want to stack 120 sand, right? Then we have to x that with 1.141 plus 1, and that will give us 137.9. So 138 hammer TNT. So let's go back on Minecraft. Alright, so now that we know we need 138, let's go ahead and say this right here is 10 long, meaning that of course if you stack this 4 up, that will give us 50, and then if you take this one, it will give us 100. So now that we have 100 right here, stack 4 up, there we go. We can either choose to build this one up here. Sometimes that makes the red sand and scatter go up. So to be honest, I wouldn't do that. Like, I know I do it on some of my cannons, but I made sure that that will not happen. But if you really want to make a good cannon, make sure that this right here, like this is just blocked in, because we don't want that, because it is gonna give you problems. Or it might give you problems and you don't know how to fix it. So if you stack this one here, one more up, that will give us 110 on 60 on each side. That gives 120. Now if you do it one more time, stack one up, we're gonna add 20. So yeah, we're gonna add 20 to 120. That's 140, and that should be enough. So that is how we do the hammer, and that is exactly how much hammer you're gonna need. So now that we have that in control, let's go ahead and remove this right here. There we go. So now that we have that in control, you need to focus a little bit more on the pistons. So there's multiple ways you can do the pistons. There's many ways you can do the wet sand as well. But if you're gonna have, let's go ahead and actually let's go ahead and quickly do this right here, because that will give you a little bit more explanation on how to do this. So let's go ahead and quickly do that. So if you want to do this right here, okay, that looks ugly. Normally when you start on something, you want to end on it as well. But in this case right here, I would probably do it a different way, and I'm going to show you that why. That has something to do when you start wiring your slab box and such. You kind of want it to be flat right here when you have your repeater. Let me see here. When you have your repeater like this, you have your redstone like this. You kind of want this to be flat, or the bottom down here, you see. And I'll come more into that later. Now you have to choose what kind of blocks you want to use. Some people use slabs, not this 4 block I'm doing right now. Some people do 1 4 block and then slab, and some people do this 4 block and glowstone. It all depends on where you're going to use your cannon. Are you going to printer it in? Are you going to use schematic to printer in the cannon? If you are going to use that, go ahead and put some glowstone onto it, because that you can really printer in fast without actually having too many mistakes. And if you want to printer in something, make sure that you only have glowstone in your inventory when you do this, or maybe copper, so it doesn't accidentally place the wrong blocks and something like that. So that's something to bear in mind, that you have to kind of use the blocks for printer if you're going to printer. So, and the easier way to figure that out is, of course, does your server, oops, what did I do here? Does your server allow printering? And if it does, then definitely use printer, because it is so much better, so much faster as well. And to be honest, there's nothing more annoying to hand build your cannon. But let's go ahead and go into another subject right now, because right now we are just about finished. Let me just go ahead and put up the last few touches to this right here. Now let's go ahead and grab some redstone, glowstone over here. All we have to do now is just get this down all the way. And then we are just about ready to go to the pistons. Let's go ahead and do this right here quickly. Oops. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. As you can see. Now that we've done that, we are ready to think about our booster. Our pistons. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make a little platform here. Don't do this. Just follow along. So as you know, this right here will boost it this way. You have to make it stop somewhere. If you make it stop right here, actually, if you make it stop right here, we're gonna need we're gonna need a piston right there to push it out, you know. But if you do it like that, you're only gonna have your wet sand right here, and since you can't do that, since that's hammer in the way, you're gonna need 1 more piston over here that will shoot this up right here, and then you can have your sand, and then you can have your wet sand like this, you know. So that is 3 pistons already here, and you have to think about the like this way. This is a good way to do it, and you don't have to boost your hammer 1 more block. But if you can save 1 piston by pushing 1 more block with TNT, I would prefer you do that. So let's go ahead and move this one. Move it over here instead. There we go. Now go ahead and put this on top of that right there. And now, as you can see, we can build this up with 2 pistons instead of the other ones. So let's go ahead and do that. So we want this to stop right here. Let's go ahead and build that up. Remove the rest here. And now we can go ahead and build this up here as well and make it flat right there. But now we got the piston going on right here. We have the wet sand, wet sand going on as well. We can think about other things. So right now you could actually go ahead and put, if you really wanted to, if you wanted this, like normally you'll do it plain like this, you know, like completely plain. But it is possible to add 1 more row of hammer on this side right here. Not on this side though, you can't do that, but you can do it on this side. But I will prefer just to have it like plain like this. It's gonna make the redstone look a lot better. Now that we got this under control, we got our hammer down, and we got our boosters for our hammer down, and we have our pistons. We need to focus a little bit more on where we are gonna have the slab post and where we are gonna have the sand. So, as you can see right now, oops, I probably want to build this, not do I? Yeah, that looks cool. That looks better. Alright, so now that we've done this, we need to think about where we're going to have our slab posts, as I said, and where we're going to have our sand. So I'm quickly going to remove this right here just so you can have a better look at it. So right now we can either choose to put the sand in. So we're going to have a line right here. I'm going to use glass. I'm going to replace it with cobble. Don't worry, I just quickly want to show you. And then of course we can have our slab post right here, and then we can have our sand like this. So then the sand will come in from right here, right next to the slab post. We can do that, or we can do it the other way around. We can make, there we go, we can make it go in like this, and then we can have our slab post right here. So there's different ways to do it. The difference between those two is that you can now, if the slab post is behind the sand, you can now use the slab post to fire up sand and hammer down, and then actually reverse hybrid. If you have the right amount of TNT in the slab post and stuff like that, it is very complicated to do that. That is something you'll have to calculate yourself. So if you really want to go in depth and actually want to reverse hybrid with a normal cannon like this, you can do this. But if you're not going to reverse hybrid, I prefer the other way around. So let's go ahead and go the other way around, shall we? Let's go ahead and remove a little bit of this. Let's go ahead and build that cobble up. This cobble here stops the TNT over there too, so it goes right there. And now let's go ahead and put in the slab post right here. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead, we can actually put up like this. Oh no, I want to have glass right here, looks a lot better. We can do that one more. There we go. So far so good. Now this right here is going to be sand. You're going to have that right next to the slab post, and you want to have everything as close as possible. If you could have the slab post right here, it will even fire further. So exactly what I done over here. Like, look how I made this over here. I made the hammer out do right here, the sand right here, and the slab post right here, all in 3 blocks right here. And then of course the power will be right here. That means it will shoot further. But with such a big cannons and stuff, it is a good thing to have like a gap in between. It really helps you with the redstone as well. So we're gonna have a gap in between like that. Now we're gonna have the sand right next to it, because there's not really any redstone for the sand when it's fired from over there. So we can do it like this. Let's go ahead and block this in like this. Now we have to think about the slab post. So the slab post comes in right here, meaning we have to dig a hole right there. Now build it up like this so you get like a normal hole, and then you can just figure out how much slab post you want to have. So you can either do it all the way around like this, oops, and then build it all the way up, or you can do it on 3 sides. You can even do it on 2 sides. You can do it on 1 side. It doesn't really matter. But for this video here, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little bit crazy and do it like this. So let me go ahead and build that all the way up, because we are gonna need lots of slab posts in this cannon here. And let's go ahead and make sure that that is the case right there. Whoop, go in here. There we go. Yep, there we go. Alright, now let me put a glass on top of it so we can kind of close this section off and say we are done with this section. Like that. Now that we've done that, we now have fully control of the slab post. We have the hammer, we have the booster for the hammer, we have the pistons. The only thing we have to think about now is where our power is going. So right now, actually, let me make a little bit more space here. So we got a little bit more space, and we have to think about the power. The power is kind of tricky. Oh god. Okay, why did I do that? It's kind of tricky. So there's different ways you can do it. So either you can use a trapdoor, you can use a slab. You can even use a carpet, but let's go ahead and take these two general blocks right here. So this is the two things you'll be able to stop. Oh, actually, we forgot the ladder. We forgot the ladder. There we go. No. So we can stop the TNT like the power is going right here, you know. So this is the TNT collector. We always have that. And then we can make like 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's good enough for now. Or depending on how far you want to shoot, of course. That's something you have to calculate yourself. But you can do it like this, or you can even move it one more in. So if you move this right here instead, and then you can have it like this. There we go. You can even come further, but that will require you to have something like a block here or something. But that's fine. If you know how to do your sand compression correct, you will be able to do it in like all the way up. So that block doesn't really matter. Now that we've done that, we have to think about what's going to stop this TNT from moving, you know? So you want something right here to stop the TNT from moving. So there's 3 different ways to do that. You can either use a trapdoor, which is very good, but the regular one is the slab. As you see how high it is, it's half a block. That's kind of a lot, and that is going to take some of the power away when the velocity is out there, you know? So the trapdoor is a little bit better. It's not a full block, it's a half block. So that's a little bit better, but look at how the ladder is. It is like you can almost not even see it. You see where the hitbox is right there? That is a lot better than any of the others. You see this trapdoor right here, and you see this ladder right here. You see? So there is a difference between this one and this one over there. So if you want to use something, I strongly suggest that you use the ladder. So let's go ahead and use the ladder, and we are going to go ahead and put that right there. Now that we've done that, we are ready to actually quickly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, it's really up to you how you want to do this. Let's do it 10. That's the exact same as the hammer now, so it looks kind of equal. But you can do 12 as well, or whatever you want to do. Now that we've done this, we are ready to stack this up actually. So let's go ahead and stack this 9 up. That will make it a 10 by 10. That should be good enough. Let me quickly figure out. Okay, this is 7. This right here will be a 10 by 10. We can go 7, so that is 9, 8, and that is 7. So let's go ahead and do that, just because we can make everything equal. You can always add, you can always do whatever you want, so it's not really a big thing. So now that we've done that, we're gonna need, oh my god, what is this? There we go. Again, we're gonna need a block by 1 like this. That way you are sure that when you put your booster in like right here or something, that it will work properly. So now that we've done the power here, we are just about ready to install the redstone for it. So now right here we have the same. We're not really sure if we want it flat or what we want to do. I prefer to put it like this and then go like that, because we're gonna use this right here. I'm gonna like tell you guys why we're gonna need the one up right here and not over here. But let's go ahead and wire this up real quick. And while we do that, we now have to think about the redstone. So as probably all of you know, when a TNT is ignited, it will explode after 10 full repeater ticks. So if a TNT explodes after 10 full repeater ticks, you kinda wanna have your pistons to go off at 9.9 or 9.8 or even a little bit over 10, all depending on the redstone. So it is kind of tricky to make it go right, but don't worry, I'm not gonna go ahead and say this is the ticks you're gonna need. I'm gonna go ahead and test it as well, just like you would do, and kind of show you how you can do that as well. So the pistons itself is gonna be a little bit tricky, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure that out. And then hopefully you guys will be able to do it on your cannon as well. Now, if you're following what I am doing, I would probably prefer you not to do that, because I kind of want you to make your own cannon, change it up a little bit, make sure that, I want to destroy this right there, make sure that you make your own cannon, you know, like we don't want it to be unfair, or what is not really unfair, but we don't want it to be so you're just like copying what I am doing. I want you to be able to do your own thing, so it's very important for me that you do your own. So if you're making a 120 stacker, make it a little bit different than mine, so you get to learn a little bit about it. And every time you face a problem with a cannon, you are learning something. Now, this one here is wired up now. We're gonna need the TNT realigner. We're gonna need that right there. And we can simply redstone it by doing like that. But hey, what's going on? So if we do it like this, oh, actually, let me just quickly do this right. So if we do it like this, that means that the redstone from this bottom one right here will go into this copper right there, this copper right there, and that will ignite this one right there. So the TNT realigner will not work if you do it like this. So we're gonna need the glass, because glass cannot transfer redstone ticks, so glass is the way to go, or a slab. But that is how you do the TNT realigner. So if some of that is wrong on some of my cannons, because I forget it all the time, then make sure to change that out. Now we have our power, we have our slab boss, we have our hammer, we have our pistons. Now it's time to actually go ahead and make this right here. Very simple booster, everybody knows it, not really tricky at all. And do something like that. That should be fine. I think that would be fine. Now, I'm talking a lot. Now that we've done this, we need to make sure the boosters works on all, even on the power, or sorry, the hammer as well. So the first thing I want to do is I quickly want to do this, and this comes in why we had this one up. This right here is probably the best way you can do it, or at least the most compact way you can do it. There we go. That right there is one full repeater. So the booster goes off, then after a full repeater, this one goes off. And that is basically the best way you can do it. At least that's what I think. But let's go ahead and try this out. So I TNT filled it. I'm quickly gonna make sure there's bedrock. Yep. And then let's go ahead and see what happens. Alright, so as you see, something fired back, right? Something didn't really work out. Yep, something didn't work out properly. Let's go ahead and add a tick to it. I'm gonna go ahead and tick this down a little bit. Let's figure out. Nope, that didn't work out either. Check one more time. Nope, that didn't work out. Now let's go ahead and add a TNT fill. There we go. Alright, that looked a lot better. You saw that? So let me quickly explain what happened right here. 2 seconds. So, what you just saw was 2 of the ways that didn't work. So as you saw, some of it actually shot back when we were doing it, and some of it just like made a line of just blowing up all over the place. But the right way looks, the right way looks like this. Alright, that looked perfect. And like everything went right here, and we got TNT realigned and then shut out. So make sure to check out that your booster or your booster for the power works 100%. Now that we are done with that, we need to make sure that the hammer is working, and we need to make sure this is working right here. The first thing we're going to do is quickly wire this up. There we go, putting 1 tick on that one and 0 on this one. And this is just kind of a YOLO, see if it works, you know. So I'm not really sure if it works. I'm going to use buttons and see if that worked. Let's go ahead and take a look. Not at all. So we need to add a lot more power to this if you want this to work. There we go. And then TNT fill it. And this right here will not work, this right here, so we have to raise this by 1, go down like that. That is sure we can fix up the redstone later, doesn't really matter right now. Alright, let's take a look. Almost. Now, if you have problems, this right here is the exact same as this one over here, so you should be able to see a difference. But let's go ahead and actually see if this was right here. We could have used this booster over here. We could have used this one over there. That wouldn't be a problem. It would work, but I kind of want 2 different boosters. So let's see if that works. That TNT fill it? I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, no, I didn't. Let's go ahead and make sure this one here is wired up properly as well. There we go. Let's take a look. Okay, so some of it didn't really reach. Let's go ahead and put 2 ticks in that one. Not at all. It is splitting it up. It will not work like that. So let's go ahead and say we don't want any ticks on that one. We want this one to go in like that. That means that some of the TNT will probably not work. But let's take a look. Yeah, you see how fast that exploded? Let's go ahead and try with the hammer on now. See if that helped. Alright, so we still have some problems. Go ahead and remove one of those. Very close. Very close. Meaning that if it's this close, we could either add TNT right here, or else we can figure something out that will help this problem. But I'm gonna go ahead and just test it just like you would. I already know which booster will work for 10 long, but I don't want to simply just make it and call it that, because I kind of want you guys to follow along as well. So let's try something else. Let's try this. So that, yeah, why not? Let's try this. Let's go ahead and just simply add it up. So I have like a platform or something. Then let's see if we can make this work. So 1 tick right there. That should do it. Yep. Let's go ahead. Oh, need to fill it as well. There we go. Let's see if it works. Alright, not at all. That was an absolute disaster. Let's go ahead and remove one of those. No, absolute disaster. One more. Oh, that was better. That was better. You saw that? That was better. So if you want to change this, we need to add one more to right here. You do that right here, like that. But again, there's many different boosters. Like, you don't have to do it like this. So if you want to go in right here, the 120, it probably has a 2 right as well. We are using 4 right here. We're using 3 right here. Now, if you go into 120 Stack of Fusion, I'm pretty sure we have it a different. As you see right here, we have 2 here and we have 3 here. That will probably work as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a 10 long. So that will probably work as well. But right here, as you see, we do have the piston 1 closer. And again, that is why it gives a few complications when you do the pistons and stuff like that. So there's many ways you can do it. I'm gonna go ahead and try this one out because it does look like it will work. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2. That's 2, 1, 2, 3. And that was 2 repeaters on this one. That was a single repeater on that one. Nope, there was no repeaters on this one. Alright, so I'm not really sure that will work. Oh, okay, that worked actually, okay. Okay, so as you saw right there, that will probably not work. But why don't we just go ahead and take a look and see if it actually worked. Alright. That was 1 block too far away. Give me a second here. There we go. So Now that we worked a little bit around this, like it is very different how you can do this. You could even go ahead. Actually, I'm gonna try that. Why don't we just go ahead and do this one more in? So if you don't wanna if you wanna skip this part right here, you can do that. But if you wanna do this correct, you need 4 full repeaters right, 4 full dispensers right here, not too close, you know. And then of course to a daughter one as it was on that schematic. That will work out perfectly for you. But for now, let's go ahead and try this out. Actually, why don't we just go ahead and try this out? See if we can make this work. It just always. Oops, what happened? Let's go ahead and do that. It's always nice to kind of test it out, you know, test out if different things works. Okay, that was extremely close. Let's go ahead and add a tick to that one. Alright, that was even more close. So it doesn't really seem like this one here wants to... if I do it like that, it won't work. No, it won't work. I don't think it'll work. Let's see if it works. That means there's too many ticks in this one right there. Let's go ahead and put 0 ticks on it. That's a bit too late. There we go. You see, we can't really determine, like, there's not really enough delay, you know, so try to do that. Like, it will just shoot this second booster too far. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna do this the correct way. That's not really a correct way. There's probably a booster, if you play around a little bit, that will do this better. But for now, let's go ahead and use the booster that I know will work for this one right here, and then we will take it from there. So let's go ahead and add this back in like this. Oops, there we go. Something like that. That looks good, right? And then of course right here we don't need this. We can have it right here. You can have that right there. Let's go one down like that, and then we're of course gonna need one like that, and then we're gonna put a repeater here. We're gonna need something right here that's gonna be glowstone. Put it right there, put it right there. There we go, perfect. And now this one here will work. Yes, perfect. Alright, TNT fill, and one tick to this one right here should do it. You might need to add a little bit more power in the back, you see? Yep, one more power should do it. In right here, oops, TNT fill again. And see, this is more like just playing around, you know, like just making sure, playing, figure out something. There we go, that was perfect. That was perfect. Now put a glass there to top it off and block it in like that, and then we fix this problem right here. It does look a little bit messy, and I'm pretty sure there's a boost out there that will be able to do 10. Now we need to do something else. So as I said before, there is actually 10 full repeaters between power igniting and power blowing up. So if that's the case, let's go ahead and wire this up real quick. We want to do it as far down to the ground as possible, so let's go ahead and do that right there. Gonna do it something like that. That's perfect. Now there's different ways you can do this. You can either use it and have like repeater right here. There you go, and then you can add like a glowstone. You can then go down like this, and that's probably different ways to do it. The way I like to do it is simply doing it like that, and you can only do it this way. If you change it up and do it this way, it won't work, because since you see this redstone here goes that way now, so that won't work. It doesn't go into the piston, and since glowstone don't carry signals, you have to do it like this, then it will work properly. Now you can either choose to do a full tick on this one right here. That will save you one repeater right here when you do it like right here, those repeaters we have to have right there now, or you can just leave it 0, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it full, so let's go ahead and do that. So now we're gonna need, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. Ignite it up. Fill it up. There we go. Perfect. That is 10 for repeaters. Let's go ahead and see if that works. Let's go ahead and TNT fill it. There we go. And let's see if we can get this working. The only thing we need to do now is just simply getting this here wired up. Very simply. Simply just going to do it like that right there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put a repeater. Don't forget about the repeater. And we kind of want to do it in the same place as well. There we go. Now let's go ahead and add a full tick to this one, just so we can have a better look at it. And of course we're going to need to do the the slab boss later, but we'll do that later. Don't worry about that right now. Now let's see if it works. Oops, we need to do the pistons over there. Oh god, oh god. Don't worry guys, don't worry. My mistake. My mistake. Let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so we need to do this over here. We can go one down right here and then just simply carry it over just to make sure that it works. Normally you'll put the booster to the sand compression, but for now let's go ahead and see if this ain't working. So let's go ahead and place the button right here, why not? Then quickly make sure that this here works with a lever. There we go. See, nope, you see that one didn't work. Now if you do it like this, it will be in different ticks. It will be in different ticks. So when you do the testing, make sure you have a repeater going in like that and then do it like this. That way it will work. So let's go ahead and use a repeater right here. Make sure that it ignites everything. It does, perfect. Now we're ready to test. So let's go ahead and remove that right there. Make all this go disappearing. Make sure there's no sand stuck anywhere whatsoever. Let's go ahead and make a test wall as well while we add it. Why not? There we go. Now let's see if this kind of works. So we need to make sure that the piston goes out at the right time. We need to make sure that the redstone goes out at the right time. And that looked actually kind of perfect, didn't it? It looked kind of perfect. I did see a small difference right here. Let's go ahead and see that out. Just quickly making sure here. Nope, as you saw right there, there was something stuck right there because the piston was too early. All we have to do is change that. Add a repeater on full tick like that. That should fix the problem. But all this is something you can change when you're making the sand compression as well, you know. Okay, that was perfect. Did you see that? That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Let's go ahead and figure out we can put this slab post in at the same time. So let's go ahead and check that out. Let's go and remove that for now. Put this up like this, right there. We don't need this one right there. Nope, we don't. And then let's go ahead and add that up. There we go. Put like this. Now we're gonna use the system I told you. You know, where you can do it like that. So if you do it like that, that will work out perfectly. Now I kind of want to do it over here instead. Do something like that. There we go. Perfect. Now if you do it over here, let's see. That's gonna mean that we are gonna have to put it up like this. Oops, like that, and over here as well. Quickly just making sure here. Yep, that's the bottom one, meaning we're gonna need right there. Now that will take everything, right? That will make sure that everything is right. Yes, it is. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and we can go ahead and combine that to the hammer down, and that's the slab bust. So let's go ahead and take this one more out now. Sadly, we have to take it one more out, but I'm pretty sure we're good. Let's go ahead and add a full tick. This is like something temporary. We can of course change this, so don't worry about it. Now let's go ahead and make sure we wire this up properly, so that we make sure that that works. There we go. Now, if we do it one more time now, we should have a complete slab post and the hammer will work as well. Everything will work. So let's go ahead and make sure. That didn't work. That didn't work at all. So now we have to figure out why that is. Now we have to figure out why that is. Everything came down. Of course, we're gonna need the guider for this to work. So go ahead and add that. Right here is the sand. Right here is the slab post. Right here is just dry, but I'm gonna put one anyways. Actually, I'm gonna use smooth stone like that. So now we have done that. Now it should work because we have the guider in that kind of separate those two things. And now let's see if it works. Perfect. It worked. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It works. So we are having 10 repeaters from the power, meaning that if you want to wire it from here, you have to take in consideration these ticks right here. But since we're doing it like this, it will be perfect. It is perfect, actually. It is perfect. So now we got everything working. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more wet sand here and have a look at our baby. So this is what it looks like so far. I like it. Like it's very cool. I could think of a few things we could do to increase this, but that is something you have to figure out yourself. But basically, this is how you build your own cannon. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to do one of the sand compressions as well. We have down there behind this cannon here. We can do one of those. We could add that to this cannon right here, and it will work 100%. Now, if you want to go ahead and do the scatter now, we can do that as well. Very simple. The time between scatter and the time between the hammer down and pistons, that is where you're going to have your scatter. So let's go ahead and add a scatter. We can do that right there. I'm just quickly going to break that so I can get in here. That's all we need for now. Now, the time in between the scatter, the time in between hammer and the piston is what we can use. So, when the hammer goes off, you can have your scatter starting to pulse out TNT. Now, this is something you can play with for a long time, or you can count ticks, of course. That's what you can do as well. But one thing to know about scatters is that if you want a big scatter, you need to use comparators, or you need to use torches, or you need a long line of like dispensers with repeaters and different ticks and stuff like that. So it is kind of tricky, but the normal way is using comparators because it's just as good. So now that we know that the button is right here, we need to figure out how we're gonna do this. So the first thing I wanted to take a look at is, okay, we have a full repeater right here. Let's add a full repeater right here. There we go. Then we are gonna go in here. Then we have one repeater on no ticks. Let's go ahead and add a repeater on no ticks. Then we're gonna have this right here, which is one full repeater. So let's go ahead and one full repeater. Now we have all this, that's fine. And then we have one full repeater as well. Whoop. Then we have one full repeater, and then we have the hammer down, which is right here, and of course one tick on the hammer itself, and that's right there. So those will be the ideal, if you can say that, ticks for when the hammer goes off. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, that looked pretty that looks pretty good. Right, that looked pretty good, right? Now, from here, from when it ignites, you can start ticking your comparators. So let's go ahead and remove this real quick. From right here, you can start ticking. So let's just quickly do it like this right there. We can go ahead and add 2 full repeaters like that. That would probably work. Let me just make sure. Yep, as you see that right there from that one, tick, 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 tick. All right, so we could maybe do it one more tick. You see, like we need to make sure that the booster is in control as well. You see that we can make this tick, and we have to stop it right before that booster is blowing up. Or we could delay the booster. We can do either way. It doesn't really matter. But for now, let's go ahead and keep this and see what happens. So let's go ahead and redstone this up real quick. There we go. There we go. Let's see if that works. Nope, not at all. Far from working. Let's go ahead and try one more time, and this time let's quickly make sure there's no... Okay, great. Yep, that was over here. Let's see if it works. There we go. Ticking. Okay, yeah, that worked out pretty well. Now, of course, we can TNT fill, we can try again, but without sand stack and stuff like that, it is kind of hard to determine this scatter right here. But I have plenty of videos. Oh, that actually worked out pretty well, but we could maybe add one tick to it. But I made a video on how to make a 50-block scatter, and I made plenty of videos to guide. So it is all up to you what you want to do. But go to my channel and basically just find out how to make a 50-block scatter, and you can take it from there. But remember that you have to take your scatter after the TNT of the hammer goes, or else it will not work. But other than that, guys, this was how you made your own cannon. Hope you guys enjoyed this video here, and if you do, remember to like this video here. Comment down below if you have any problems, issues whatsoever. And as always, guys, remember to subscribe to my channel. My name is Dexter, and I'm out.